He took off already, but thank you, Ron. Actually, his name is Ron, actually. But appreciate him for dropping off the new motor. That's gonna be going in sometime soon, hopefully this weekend. On Sunday or Monday, what I need to do is just go get an engine hoist so I can safely put this engine in and swap everything over from this to that. And what else? Just another mission to swap everything again. So I'm gonna go back to work. I'm actually on the clock right now. Gonna get ready to just do a heart transplant later when I can. So long story short, I replaced that motor. If you look back at my channel, I replaced the motor a few months ago, but everything was fine. But I did notice a small oil leak, and I told myself, you know, I'll just come back to it next week. And of course, you know, I never got back to it. So weeks ago, I went on a trip to LA with a buddy of mine to go drop off his car, and I did an oil change before then. Topped it off all the way full, but on the way back home, me forgetting that I do have a small oil leak, I forgot to check it. So when I went to go like out and about 2 days after the LA trip, I started hearing a knock, and so thus leading to rod knock. Totally sucked, because that's like, that motor only has 80,000 miles on it, so it's a brand new engine with like no issues. It started right up on a dime when I did the motor swap, but just on my part, I'm not checking the oil and oil maintenance and just taking care of what I needed to do to reseal it. Over time, you know, just led me to where I'm getting another engine for it. So this is most likely going to be the last engine swap I'm going to do for this, especially with the DE. What I'm going to do with the current DE that's in there right now is I'm wanting to rebuild that one, rebuild the non-rev up. I gave him my rev up motor. The reason I gave up my rev up motor is because, I don't know, I know it's not that difficult to send in another ECU, but everything I have for the rev up is already there. So I don't know. I did give up my rev up motor for the non-rev up. Not the best choice. You do give a little more power out of the rev up motor and a little more tuning capabilities with the rev up, but I just need something to like take me drifting. So going in with the drift wheel. Maybe one day we'll throw an RV motor in there. I don't know. Maybe I might just switch back over to a rev up motor. Because all you need is the heads. Swap the heads on of a rev up to a non-rev up, and then you got yourself another rev up motor. So yeah, I'm gonna get back into it when I can. Hopefully sometime next week. This video, I don't know when I'm gonna be uploading this, but hopefully gets everything up to date. What is up, guys? Hope you guys are having a good day. It is Sunday, whatever day, I think May 9th, Mother's Day. Not really doing anything just yet. My loved ones aren't home yet, so I get some time to get on my car before I get busy. So I got the motor. This is the DE non-rev up. Has like 60,000 miles, between 70,000 miles, one of the two. And we're gonna be swapping it. So I got the engine hoist that I got to put together over here, and that's what's gonna go on over here. So before, I did have a rev up motor in here. If you want to do a rev up to a non-rev up swap, main thing you are going to need is, of course, a DE non-rev up ECU. Manual or automatic, depending on what your setup is. And well, the rev ups only come manual, so you're definitely gonna need if you're going manual swap or auto swap, you might need to switch harnesses for sure. But for sure you need an ECU for the non-rev up motor. You can use the engine harness from the rev up. You're just gonna have 4 plugs that aren't gonna plug in, which will be the 2 plugs up here and then 2 plugs back here. Those are for the exhaust time valves and intake valves. So see, like these 2 plugs, they're not gonna go to anything. And there's 2 more camshaft plugs back in behind the motor that aren't gonna plug into anything. So those won't be useful. But you can use your rev up harness on a DE non-rev up. It works on mine. Pretty sure it'll work for yours, and you should be good. What else? And I believe that honestly that just may be it, just to get the car running. Of course, you're gonna need a SONY also if you're running a different ECU. So right now, I got everything pieced apart from the motor. What I'm gonna be doing is getting my engine hoist put together so I can get this pulled out. And all I gotta do is do the bolts from the transmission, and I should be able to slide it out. And I do got to remove these bolts right here from the engine mounts, and I should be good after that. So I'm gonna get started. I'm not gonna show the time lapse of me taking the motor out, but maybe we'll see. I might just cut to the scenes. Okay, catch you in a bit. Spent some time working. It is the following day of yesterday. What's done so far is a part swap. So everything off this block came over to this block. So flywheel, pressure plate, clutch kit put in, sensors not really replaced because the block came with all the sensors. Everything's all good. What else? I had to swap over the plenum, the lower part of the plenum. It already had fuel injectors and they're good. What else? I am gonna change the spark plugs. That's what I gotta do next before throwing it in. Might as well just do it since it's like easy access right now. So those are gonna get switched out very shortly. Coming to the other side, it's the rear part of the motor. The front side, I had to swap over the pulleys. And what's cool is this one came with a idler pulley delete. So if you know, the DE motors have one pulley that just sits right here and it kind of does nothing. On the older models, those come with a clutch fan, and so sitting on this, that part of the pulley would sit right here and there'll be a fan on it. But that was for the older models. Now we have electric fans, so there's no need for a clutch fan. So yeah, it came with this. And then so if you have or wanting to do a idler pulley delete, what you're gonna need is the kit. Of course, there's gonna be this spacer. I'm not entirely sure what it's called, but I did search it up. It is on Z1 Motorsports and they sell it. You take this whole pulley out, you swap it with this one to add the spacer, and then you're gonna have to go get a belt. Either if you buy it from Z1, they'll send you the belt, or I believe I was searching around and an FX Infinity 35 2008 model would fit perfectly for the belt up here. So I'm excited to see how that's gonna look and how that's gonna work. I haven't put it on entirely yet. If you're watching through the video, you're gonna see if I'm successful or not. So don't quote me just yet. See how it goes first. In other words, I am almost ready to throw the motor in. I'm hoping I can get it in by myself. Most of the time I do need help guiding it in. It is the hard part of this. Other than taking it out was super cake. You just pull it. But what else? Yeah, just guiding it in is just kind of gonna be the hard part. Next up, what we're gonna be doing is getting it lifted. I'm gonna get it ready for the engine hoist, kind of clean up, get some space going. What's next is I'm gonna put the spark plugs in, put the wiring harness on, and then put the motor in if I can. that's what we're gonna be doing. So cool. I will time lapse all this, that way we can see what's going on. Other than that, everything is pretty simple. It's part swap and kind of just get it in now. Cool. There she is, about to go in there. So this is gonna be the hard part because I'm kind of doing it solo. Never done it solo. Always had someone that helped me guide it in, but I'm kind of wanting to just get it going. But it's okay. Just take your time, go slow, no need to rush. If I have to, and I'm not able to get it, I'm just gonna, just hold off until I got for a friend to come. But we're gonna try and attempt to put it in. It's gonna be the first attempt right now, so hope you guys will enjoy the process. I'm gonna be time lapsing it, so everything's good to go. Hoses, connectors, plugs, all good away. Thermostats replaced, spark plugs replaced. I'm just saying all this because I'm reassuring myself also. Pulleys on. I just gotta put the compressor on, and then the power steering on. I do have to come back over here. I nicked one of my wires. It's one of the ground wires, so I'm gonna have to remake this and then ground it down. What else? Nothing too much. Everything that's on the car is just gonna get plugged up into here also. So yeah, so how I have it mounted, I'm using a strap. It's pretty durable. I got the really thick one. I've been using this most of the time to do motor swaps and stuff, and then it's been pretty solid. Everything else, I have the jack hoisting up my transmission. So yep. So let's just cut it and get working. Yeah. Yo, what's up? We did it. It's running. Not right now because I have it off. I'm going through the whole bleeding process. But it's running and I'm super happy. Everything is going pretty well. It's getting warm on the interior because I'm doing the whole bleeding system, and it's a process. It's a pain in the butt, to be honest. But it's running. Everything's coming good. Kind of just letting it cool off right now. You probably see me start it in just a bit, but so far what we got going is a motor swap. If you have been watching this, I'm not sure if you're really interested in it, but it's nothing too crazy. It's just it is crazy. A motor swap is not easy, to be honest. I don't even know what to say. I'm just happy. Definitely don't want to do this again. Definitely want to make sure my oil temps oil temps, and what else? I have oil in the motor because this is why I had to do another motor swap. Yes, another one. The reason I had to do another one is because I didn't have any oil in my motor, and I knew I had like a small oil leak prior to the first time I swapped the motor. And I told myself I'll just come back to it, and I can, and of course never came back to it, so thus leading me to where I am today right now. Everything's working pretty smooth. Started right up, did all the fluid change, got new coolant right now, did an oil change, put some oil in there. I'm running 1030 right now. I was reading some forums and stuff. 1030 is almost running the same thing as 530, so I might jump it up to 540 or 1040. I'm just trying to find my way into it, but it is okay to use 1030 in this motor. It does say in the owner's manual. But I'm also going to try and shoot for 540 because it's a little higher in velocity, and it can handle heat a little more, and plus with the drift car, it's the best too. So yes, trying to build for drift, but can't go drift if your freaking car's not running. But so I'm waiting for it to cool down, going through the whole bleeding process. I did record a little bit of me doing the motor swap. Honestly, it was just all parts swaps, wire harness to this motor, a few sensors here and there, but pulleys, belts. I am reusing my clutch. I didn't put a new clutch in yet because it's still fairly new. It's not too bad. I would have liked to change it out, but I should have, but I didn't. It's okay. But still strong, still good. What else? Yeah, everything was just part swap, to be honest. Because yeah. Well, we're shooting for drifting this season. I finally can just maybe take the car to the track and then not worry about it if something happens, because I would rather keep my oil filled now in case I don't know. I'd rather have like a suspension part broken than my motor break, because suspension parts are a lot easier changing than a freaking motor. But so far we got the hydro set up. This thing is like strong. Got my short shifter, IRP. Super simple for an install. It's all put together in one piece. All you gotta do is kind of, I had to cut this out because for one, I am not going to put a hole or like damage the short shifter just to make it fit. But what I did is I cut my mounting plate to have my hydro setup still in here, so that worked out pretty well. Other than that, I'm ready to have some fun. Let's see what temperature we're at right now. We are still pretty hot, honestly. So yeah, we're just waiting for the coolant to go through and pass. So I gotta let it really cool down before I open up the bleeder valve for air to run through. In addition, much. I'll probably record a little more after I'm done getting everything started up so you guys can see the startup. I'll start it up in just a moment for you guys, but for me it's gonna take like probably 10-15 minutes, so you guys can see the startup and how it sounds. So yeah, give me 1 second.